Hey everybody, I'm live. I see that 2 hours ago when I was originally going to do this live stream, American Flying Hawk came in and wrote a big thank you from Ohio State. 2 hours ago when I was originally going to do this live stream, and then says, now the Buckeyes will show the world why you've been the best team in college football all year. Uh, okay. That reminds me of this video going around that shows Ohio State playing undefeated, but conveniently forgetting the existence of the Michigan Wolverines, which play the Purdue Boilermakers. The Boilermakers. I repeat, the Boilermakers. I repeat, the Boilermakers. And I say one more time, the Boilermakers for the Big 12 championship. O'Day. Got it. And he says, it's 12:21, you're late, I'm out. No, I'm not late. I'm on my own time. Yeah, I am gloating. I'm like, yes, they did it. They did it. They absolutely, completely did it. Those dingy, cretin kind of woo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doos, they did it. Ta-da. The Utah Utes are the 2022 Pac-12 Conference champions, much to the obvious chagrin and tears of the combatants, the USC Trojans. They hammered. I mean, look, there is no other way to say it. They hammered, 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 and I'm saying hammered. You say hammered and pound, right? Hammered and pounded the Trojans into submission. It was not funny. It was not funny at all. And why was I so completely happy about it? Why did I love so much that, oh, Caleb and all the other Sarahs are crying and, oh, we lost and we got beaten. Oh, oh. You want to know why? Here's one reason why. Boom. Yeah, that reason. That $110 million contract the Trojans paid to Lincoln Riley, thinking they were going to buy themselves a national championship or a Pac 12 championship, or how about a Pac 12 championship on the way to a national championship? Not anymore. No way. They're now 11 wins and 2 losses. They would be lucky, fortunate to sniff a challenge, an ability to take on the Michigan Wolverines, okay? Regardless of the Big 12 championship and how it turns out, okay? But let me just come back to this. Look, stare at that. Look at that. $110 million. $110 million they spent, then grab number 13 from Oklahoma and convinced him to come to Southern Cal, and then went prancing around on top of all that and saying, oh, we and you at UCLA are basically too good for the rest of the Pac-12, and so we're going to say sayonara, and we're going to go off to the Big 12, and we're going to make more money than you are. Okay? So you know what this win was for me? It was the big to all those USC people who thought they were so elite and haughty and better than thou and holier than thou and deserved to be anointed the Pac-12 championship just walking into the building. That ain't how it works. That ain't how it works. And what happened on that great Friday night in Legion Stadium is yet the latest example of the simple term, that's why you play the game. All right? That's why you play the game. And it ain't over till it's over. It doesn't matter if it's the game or the season. The bottom line is you play it out. You might have your ideas, you might have your thoughts based on money throwing around, but you know what? At the end of the day, what happens between the white lines is what rules. And what happened on this particular day was that USC managed to see a Utah team that was brighter than they were. Dare I say, they outcoached. Yes, Lincoln Riley was outcoached. Why? Because to open up the second half after a tie, all right, after it was quite obvious that, look, UCLA has all the horses, but Utah has the intellectual ability to make the right adjustment at the right time. And what they did that changed the game was defensively, they had their defensive linemen do something very simple. Slant. What's a slant? Well, a slant is instead of two gapping, you say, I'm going to go either left or right. In this instance, they went left. Okay. And you can see it in the replays. Just that simple movement left, it doesn't matter if it was run or pass, caused the UFC offensive lineman to go be immediately out of position because they're playing zone style of blocking area and they're not playing man for man. So if they're playing man for man and the Utah Utes had used that kind of slant, the offensive lineman would have went in those directions to block them where they wanted to go, and they had the running back run the daylight. Didn't have that. They had zone blocking. So let's say they're going this way, and UCLA's defensive line have to be going that way, and guess what happens? Holes are formed that they can go through to stop the run, and they can go through in order to get to the passer. And that's what happened. So if you're wondering why all of a sudden, hey, you turn around, you realize that number 13 is getting sacked and getting rushed repeatedly, and it looked like a different team. It wasn't that Utah's players went in and took some sort of steroid injection or some sort of super serum. No, they changed their coaching strategy. They changed their schematic approach. Little adjustments make big, big, big changes. And these little adjustments led to big stops on defense and big gains offensively. Really, offensively, those gains are already happening. But what Utah realized is, hey, if we attack the edges in terms of our passing game, we can get the open receivers faster. And they were doing that much of the time. But the main thing is because of their defensive success, because of the change by asking their defensive linemen to slant, all right, simple change. And then not only that, they play further up to the box. They figured, you know what? We're going to stop you. We're going to stop your run. We're going to slant and get into the gaps. And we're going to force the passer to get rid of the ball faster. That's what they did. They played at times 8 in the box and 6 men on the line. Okay. Took the pressure to USC in the second half in a way they didn't do defensively in the first half when they were playing more obvious 3-down linemen, linebackers back, more of a loosey-goosey defense, if you will. No, they shut that crap off in the second half. Shut it off. Again, did USC adjust? No, they didn't. Then their quarterback got injured, and once the quarterback got injured and the blood flowed, you saw sharks in the water, and they went hunting. It was quite obvious. Like piranhas tackling everything, okay? So it was a case of being outcoached. And yeah, what do I point to? Again, I can't help it. You paid $110 million to get major league outcoached and major league blown out in the biggest game of the season to date for USC and for the Pac-12, the championship. Look at that, folks. Take a look at that. $110 million. That's the ticket you paid to get embarrassed, because that's what happened. You paid all that money, you made all those moves, and hey, who's the Pac-12 champion yet again? The Utah Utes. This is the Pac-12, full of smart coaches like the now retired or now departed, David Shaw. Give them a credit. So, hey, look, you guys had your cake, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. Subscribe to Zinni62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com. That ends this broadcast, and good night.